a bunch of like melted mercury looking stuff, just plastered all around it.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, he said it was real weird. And, that also he did say that the sheriff or the police department did at one point chase everybody away. And then, like I said, by morning, the people wanted to go take a look at it, again. And it was already asphalted.
Covered up.
Yeah, covered up. And at the time, he told me about that. And I remember going on the internet and searching. And there was a reported UFO landing in that little town. But again, I asked him, I said, well, did any guys in suits come talk to anybody? And he goes, hey, I guess he was 9 years old. I just remembered. He goes, I was 9 years old. I wouldn't remember that part, or if they did.
Yeah.
But, was, he said, if you go in that community and talk to any of the older people and say, hey, do you remember the UFO that landed? They'll still, till this day, they'll talk about it.
That is funny. I think it's just becoming more and more like socially accepted that UFOs are a thing. They're a genuine phenomenon. I think more people are willing to talk about these things now than what they were in the past. Or at least after this year, we're going to see more of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think something, because, again, why would the Navy release footage of their fighters, of their cameras on the fighter, right? Chasing a UFO. I find that right there intriguing. I mean, normally, that would have never happened. I mean, get anything released from the government. And here they voluntarily...
Which makes me suspicious.
Yeah, they voluntarily let it out. They said, here it is. And I watched the video before I talked to you tonight. I was watching it,
Oh, yeah.
And it's intriguing, I mean,
it really is.
You get your afterburners going. Here's our fastest jet, supposedly we have, right? And we were like being in a Model A, and somebody's going by in a Corvette, full gun. It's just like no way to catch them.
No, it's really. I'm just really impressed with the New York Times or the New York Post for bringing that story to the public. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I never would have thought I'd lived through that, with them actually saying, no, this is a thing. We don't know what it is. Something's going on, but we don't know what it is. But at least they're admitting that there's something's happening,
Well,
and has been.
Yeah, I think maybe slowly, maybe they're trying to condition us, that over the next 20 or 30 years or 10 years or whatever, to prepare us. Maybe we're not the only ones.
Yeah, well, after the complete failure of War of the Worlds, maybe since that point, they've been slowly, prepping us with all the, sci-fi and atomic age comics and fiction back then. They've been slowly dishing it out so that we're more, desensitized to the whole shock of the situation. It's like, oh, aliens? Yeah, totally. I get that.
Well,
it could be.
Well, look at back in the 50s and early 60s, all those garbage B sci-fi space, movies and stuff that was being dumped.
Oh, yeah.
The government has been noted for helping filmmakers back in that time frame make movies. So maybe they were, basically supporting some of these, B movie artists, right, to make ridiculous space, movies. For people can sit home and laugh about it.
It's true. I mean, even 2001: Space Odyssey, there was a whole thing around that. Remember that with Kubrick? His wife was saying he actually filmed the moon landing because he had this whole insight after filming 2001: Space Odyssey, and I believe it was NASA that let him borrow a special camera too to film or to use during the filming of 2001: Space Odyssey. At some point too, so there was something going on there, but how much truth there is to it or not, I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, and the government's always had fingers in everything that's given to us, like news, so on and so forth, articles written, Associate Press. We always got to wonder who that is.
Well,
they've infiltrated
right after a few days after I had you on the last time, I had a former DOD agent on my show.
Oh.
And, you know,
Very
I
cool.
did check that guy out, and it was legit, 100%. He told me so many different little things, you know, on air, off the air, that it scared me. And the government is so much more advanced in so many different things that if the American public realized what was going on, they would be totally freaked out. I mean, they know everything that you're doing, I'm doing pretty much, and they monitor us. I mean, you know, he told me he was, the night before he went into this store, right? Him and his wife, he wanted a special bike. It was a boardwalk type of bike, you know, a weird bike, you know, like you ride like a cruiser, but a weird brand, a weird thing, right? The only thing on in his whole house was his smart TV, right?
Yep.
The next morning, right, they decide they're going to go to a certain chain of stores, and, you know, and he didn't even look at it on the internet, he said. Didn't check it out nowhere. Okay? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, it was appearing on his cell phone.
Yep. That's what happens. The cell phones, the smartphones, and the smart TVs are listed. There's microphones on them. That happens to me, too. I was actually talking about, me and my partner were talking about different soaps that we wanted to discontinue that, you know, had been around for a couple of years now. And they, due to lack of sales or just small sales, we thought we would discontinue them. And after talking about this, within an hour, and even the next day, on Facebook, I started seeing ads, my own ads, but with these products in it. And the only way to explain that away, it's the algorithm. Like, it was picking up my voice. My phone was picking us up talking about it, and it was catching those keywords of those products, and it was showing them to me the next day. It was really weird, but that's how it works. That's the future of advertising right there. That's marketing. But in this day and age.
He also said the big G was tied in with the government. So, I mean, besides whatever you are looking at on the internet, the government knows exactly what you're looking at, which the government doesn't.
Oh, I'm sure.
Government, he said, doesn't really care unless something happens, right? And then all of a sudden they can go back and pull up whatever, and then they got all the evidence they want on you.
Yep. No, it's true. And if they ever wanted to bribe you for something or anything else, they can go back and, like, God knows what they'll find, but they'll be able to use it again. Yeah, we have such a huge footprint, a digital footprint these days. It's scary.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you know, if that's all going on, it just makes me think that, you know, the UFO, Bigfoot, all this weird stuff, right, which the government is debunking, it just makes me wonder if it's true or not. Again, we talked about some of the astronauts said they saw strange things. One of them saw a UFO, my God. And, you know, he didn't want to say it to after he was done with NASA and he got a little bit older and he didn't care at that point. But, you know, he actually said that they saw, you know, when they were looking out of their cockpit, the window of the capsule, they saw a UFO just right there, you know, and, and they got pictures of it, but then the pictures never circulated anywhere.
Right. No, I've heard the story, like orbs. They saw orbs as well. They might have seen something on the moon. I've heard a bunch of different stories. And, I mean, we never went back, so you got to wonder.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, you know, of course. And now there's another thing circulating around that supposedly they were life on the moon and that we basically killed them off. Or killed the majority of them off. So that's kind of circulating around too. Supposedly we detonated a nuclear bomb on the moon at one point. And that was to...
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, yeah. That was done supposedly years ago. We tested a nuclear bomb, missile, or rocket, or whatever, went to the moon and detonated. Hey, I mean, I don't...
we did a rocket, yeah.
Yeah.
I know about the rocket, and it vibrated. The moon made a tone. It, like, rang like a bell.
Yeah, which they say that's impossible to do.
Yeah.
Unless it's hollow.
Yeah, unless it's hollow, exactly. That was an Apollo mission. But yeah, that was a weird experiment they did. But I've also heard that we have bases on it, and we have been going back.
Well,
they're not telling us this.
Well, I hear that we have bases with aliens on, that we're, sharing info, and we supposedly, besides having underground in this country, bases that supposedly on the backside of the moon, there's supposed to be bases with aliens and, us working on whatever we're doing. Hey, we're pretty much done. Why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you? Tell a little bit about your products. We got about 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, excellent. Well, folks, my name's Douglas Smythe. I'm from phonex-shaving.com. If you're interested in getting a better shave, a closer shave, if you're sick of getting, ingrown hairs, razor burn, or bumps that is, often caused by multi-blades and cartridge razors, then it's time to make the switch over to traditional forms of shaving. And I deal with one aspect of it, which is safety razors. So if you're interested in picking up a starter kit or just learning a little bit more about it, please check us out at phonex-shaving.com. I also have a morning show every Friday with a good friend of mine who also owns a traditional shaving business, Razor Emporium. We do a show called I'd Lather Be Shaving. And if you go to I'dlatherbeshaving.com, I think you'll find it very entertaining. It's more done in the spirit of like Car Talk or Antique Roadshow or Wayne's World even. It's everything combined. So we try to make it fun. So whether you're interested in shaving or not, you're going to enjoy the show, I think. At least I hope so anyways. But if you are interested in shaving, you're going to get a lot out of it. We do cover a lot of fascinating history and, often give tips and tricks as well. So that's where you can find me. And also always available, too. So you can email me anytime at douglas@phonex-shaving.com if you have any questions on traditional wet shaving or even some of our wacky conspiracy or paranormal related soaps and whatnot. If you want to dig a little bit deeper into that, we do our best anyways to create stories around each soap. I highly recommend you read the sales page for Agartha or High Jump 47, or even our most recent one, Organism 46B, which is about a strange creature that lives in the Antarctic or may live in the Antarctic. Organism 46B. Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that tonight, but we'll do that on another show. But yeah, this is in Antarctica. It's underneath the ice. It's a very interesting story for anyone out there. If you want to learn more about it, not necessarily my soap based on it, but the actual event, Google Organism 46B. It's fascinating.
Oh, wow.
And that's all I got.
Okay, well, hey, I can say one thing, guys. I use his Babe Rum aftershave. In fact, to my sons, it said, hey, they first saw it, right? They didn't even smell it. They said, oh, that's old man's crap. And next thing I know, it's almost all gone. And I said, well, I thought you, I said, you said it's old man stuff, right? And they go, hey, but it smells good and the girls like it. Well, I mean, what I like, this bottle you just sent me, I put it on.
Jug,
yeah, the jug. I put a little bit on, right? I put the cap on. But you know what? I hate to say it. It makes the room for about an hour afterwards, just from the cork, right? Being a little bit saturated.
Yeah.
It kind of makes the room smell nice and sweet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So don't go buy Glade, and Glade, don't sue me for that. But I mean, you can spray some of this air freshener around, and you actually buy a bottle of this, put it on, and then any drippings it drip off that you didn't get on your face. That room is going to smell good for about an hour, guys.
Oh, it is. Even the soap too. If you put a little bit of hot water on the puck before you use it and let it kind of bloom for about 5 minutes, it fills up the entire bathroom with whatever scent you're using. That's another part, a big part of returning to traditional forms of wet shaving is the scents involved, because the scents are they're like olfactory time machines. It'll just take you somewhere. You'll just connect with it. It's really cool.
Well, just also, again, people, you might look at, hey, you can go to the dollar stores and buy a $1 bottle of aftershave lotion, and that's exactly what you got. Or, you can go buy some of this other stuff, that has been around for I don't know how long. But if you know what, you get what you pay for. I mean, honestly, you put this on, you go all day, right? Then at the end of the day, you kind of wet your face off a little bit, and good, you're good for another couple hours.
Back. Yeah, exactly. I make aftershave / cologne, so it's not just aftershave. It's got the all the face saving ingredients of an aftershave, but the staying power of a cologne. So it's 2 in 1. Sort of, yeah.
Okay,
love
sir. Well, boy, this 2 hours went by fast, and maybe
always does, Gary. It always does.